Aw man, sometimes we don't miss the most precious things in life until they're gone. And that is just the case with these 5 memorable cars and an honorable mention, baby, that no matter how hard we wish for, most likely won't be coming back. Of course, there are rumors here and there, so who really knows? But with certain manufacturers shifting their focus away from enjoyable cars to more economically practical cars, it's hard to justify a return from one of these legends. And you're gonna wanna stay till the end because the rotary powered legend hopefully makes a comeback. Let's go! I think I'm speaking on behalf of everybody that the world misses a mid-engine rear-wheel drive option from Toyota. Yeah, Toyota used to make one called the MR2, which, believe it or not, was Japan's first mid-engine production car. Now, Toyota built 3 generations of these pint-sized fun sports cars. The W210 from 1984 to 1989, W220 from 90 to 99, and W30 from 2000 to 2007. Yeah, they built the Toyota 86 to replace the outgoing Celica, but they never replaced the MR2, which sadly, I think is highly unlikely because building a mid-engine sports car is pretty complex. And love it or hate it, Toyota just put out a new sports car, the Supra, so adding a 3rd one to the lineup is probably not in the cards. But if they were to bring back the MR2, I bet it would either be fully electric or some sort of hybrid contraption because that is all the rage these days. But all we really can do is hold our breath and wait. Now, the Volkswagen R32 kind of does have a successor called the Golf R, but they're still different. See, the R32 just seemed a little bit more lively and tossable than the Golf R. Now, when we break down the name R32, the R stands for Volkswagen Motorsports Department, Volkswagen Racing, while the 32 stands for the engine displacement, 3.2 liters. Just listen to that thing go. You can just fling this thing through the corners because the handling is so confidence-inspiring. And using Volkswagen's 4Motion all-wheel drive system keeps you adhered to the road. Yeah, if they had a new generation of the R32, we'd all be in for a treat. But sadly, I think the Golf R is the best thing that Volkswagen's gonna give us. Now, you had to have expected that the Honda S2000 would be on this list. I mean, not only is it reliable and good looking, just like myself, but you can rev that bitch to 9,000 RPMs, baby. Yeah, when the S2000 was introduced in 2000, wait, S2000 in 2000, was that a coincidence? Literally, the engine in the AP1 had the highest output per liter of any NA motor ever. That was highly manufactured, of course. Not any of that one-off bullshit. 9,000 RPM, 2 liter, let's go. Which made it even that much more ideal. Now, we had all thought that the world had ended in 2009 when they stopped making the S2000.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No!
And the only way for us to get our fix for an inexpensive, fun roadster was the MX-5. Because, you know, the answer to everything is Miata. But see, that's the thing. I wouldn't even put those 2 cars in the same league. The S2000 was just as much fun on the road as it was on the track. Or maybe it was even more fun on the track. Plus, I just feel like there's something a little bit more special about the S2000. So I'm sure just like me, you've heard the rumors that they might bring back some sort of all-new rear-wheel drive Honda Roadster. You know, one with like the Civic Type R engine in it, and that would be sweet. So sweet that I might get a few cavities before it even hits the drawing board. Okay guys, real quick, it is time for the ideal question of the day. What is one car that's gone extinct that you wish they would bring back? Is it one of them on this list or is it something else? Let us know down in the comments and let's carry on, baby. 2015 was a really tough year for me. Not only did I get out of my first long-term relationship and I was heartbroken, but Mitsubishi threw a dagger in my heart that is pretty small with launching the last year of the Mitsubishi Evolution. Yeah, it was a long time coming considering that Mitsubishi has been in trouble for a long time and they are this close to not being a car company anymore. But when they announced that 2015 was the last year for the Evo, you know, that kick-ass all-wheel drive, turbocharged son of a rally car, I think I'm speaking on behalf of all car enthusiasts. We were all wondering who's gonna compete against the STI. I mean, literally the STI and the Evo were the two cars that made up this segment. And so now the Subaru STI was top of class because there was no one else to compete. Viva la STI, baby! Now, what's a little concerning is that the Evo name might be brought back by Mitsubishi, but it might be applied to an SUV. Just like when they brought back the Eclipse, it came back as a crossover. Real quick, who remembers Brian O'Connor's Eclipse from Fast and Furious? Yeah, to remember that rivalry between the STI and the Evo, I wrote a little poem. Evos are red, Subies are blue. Both of them go brap. There was a time back in the day when manufacturers just didn't give a shit. Specifically, I'm looking at you, Chrysler. Yeah, because they threw an 8-liter V10 engine into a front engine, rear-wheel drive monster muscle car called the Dodge Viper. Yeah, the first one had way too much horsepower, and yeah, it had no nannies to save your ass when you pitched it. Ask me how I know. But the end of 2017 marked the end of an era. There were 5 generations of Viper, and the last one rolled off the lot just a few years ago. But there is hope because supposedly there might be a new one coming out in 2021. But guys like myself that lust over that V10 engine, well, we're gonna be sorely disappointed because most likely Chrysler's gonna come out with a highly developed aluminum V8. Woohoo! Sounds like a Corvette. But then again, that V10 was pretty much just a truck motor. The 90s was a fantastic decade for Japanese sports cars. You had the Toyota Supra, the Acura NSX, Nissan 300ZX, and you can't forget about the FD RX-7. Yeah, Mazda's beautiful little coupe was just as fun to look at as it was to rip around the racetrack. But it was quick, costs a lot of money, and when you went to go fire it up, you never knew if it was actually going to start. But that made the RX-7 that much more fun to own. See, the problem was the rotary engine. And then on top of that, you slap turbos on it, which, speaking from experience, doesn't make anything more reliable. So the chances of Mazda making a new rotary-powered sports car is, well, pretty much nil. But that said, if they were to bring back some sort of RX-7, I think it would absolutely kill it in the Japanese sports car market today. I mean, would you get that or a Supra? Either way, I know that you guys are all sad about these cars that will probably never come back. So to cheer you guys up, why don't you check out this video on 5 cars that get over 30 miles to the gallon, or check out what YouTube recommends you watch next. Oh, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. But either way, you can't lose, and as always, keep living that ideal lifestyle.